everyone, and welcome back to another video on Queen G's recipes. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a simple cheddar cheese bread recipe. Now there are only 3 or 4 steps involved in this recipe. Very simple, very easy, and there's no excuse not to make it at home. So let's go over the ingredients. What we'll be needing here is 1/4 cup of melted butter. I'm using salted, you can use unsalted if you like. For our spices, I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, and just a pinch of smoked paprika. You can replace that with cayenne pepper, or you can just omit it from your recipe if you don't like those spices. But for sure, I do suggest you add in the salt for flavor. And if you don't want to use oregano, you can use some black pepper or any other spice that you like. That's totally fine. Here we have 1/4 cup of sharp cheddar cheese shredded. Now I have also mixed in a little bit of Parmesan cheese, finely grated Parmesan cheese. I also have here 1/2 cup of sour cream. We have 2 cups of sharp cheddar shredded. And we also have here 1/2 cup of milk and 2 cups of flour with 2 teaspoons of baking powder inside. So what we also have here is a loaf pan or a bread pan, which I have lightly coated with some margarine. You can also use softened butter. And on the bottom, I have sprinkled it with Parmesan cheese. We're also gonna need a bowl, a whisk, a spatula, and you're gonna have to have your oven preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Also be needing 2 eggs, and make sure that you have them at room temperature. I apologize I didn't show it with the ingredients, but you do need 2 eggs at room temperature. All right, so in our flour bowl, we're just gonna add in our spices. Okay, and just give this a little toss here to mix everything together. Okay, that's good enough. We're gonna set this aside, and now we're gonna bring our bowl. So now into our bowl, we're going to whisk all of our wet ingredients. So our eggs, our milk. It's very, very easy recipe. Melted butter, sour cream, want to get that all out of there. Okay, and with our whisk, we're just going to mix everything together. Give it a good whisk until it's all nicely creamed together. Instead of the milk, you can also add table cream. That's fine too. I have made it before with table cream, and it does make your dough very nice and moist, kind of like a creamy moist, if that makes any sense. But you can add the cream instead of the milk, whatever you prefer. Once you have all your wet ingredients nicely whisked together, you will add in your dry ingredients. Now, when adding in our dry ingredients, you want to make sure you don't want to overmix the dough. You just want to incorporate the flour where you don't see any more flour chunks in your batter. Now in this recipe, I am using bread flour, but you can use regular flour if you don't have any on hand. Don't purposely go out and buy bread flour for this recipe. You can just use regular flour, it'll be fine too. Now we're going to add in our cheese. Okay. Now we're just using the cheddar cheese. We're not using the cheddar and Parmesan mixture because that will be using to garnish on our bread before it goes into the oven. Now it's already like a dough consistency, oops, of course. So this is what we want. Just patiently add it in. If you want to use nice clean hands to mix it in as well, it's fine. The dough does get hard to mix, just be patient. Okay, now we're ready to place it into our bread pan. All right, so now with my dough scraper, I'm just going to, it is going to be sticky. Now I'm just going to clean my hands and we will garnish our dough. Now by just using your spatula as well, it does help to spread out your dough. So whatever makes it easier for you guys to place it into your pan, you do what's easier for you guys. So now we are going to garnish with our mixture of parmesan and cheddar. So this can be a really cheesy bread. And now what I like to do is just garnish with a little bit of oregano. This is optional. Okay, we're ready to place this into our oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit preheated for 35 to 40 minutes. Alright guys, so make sure that you put your oven rack to the middle of your oven because you don't want your cheese on the top of your bread to burn. If you do start to notice that it does start to become too golden on the top, you can cover it with some aluminum foil. Alright everyone, so my cheese bread was in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for exactly 35 minutes. As you can see, it's perfect. Nice and golden. Now we're going to let it rest in our loaf pan for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to invert it onto a plate, and we're going to have to let it sit on our platter for at least half an hour to 45 minutes to cool before cutting into it. And then I'll let you know what it looks like and what it tastes like as well. All right everyone, so I allowed my bread to sit on my countertop at room temperature for about half an hour. You want to give your loaf some time so that when you cut into it, it doesn't all become you know, pasty and it becomes crumbly on the inside. You want to let it sit just as I did. And as you can see, the top is nice and crunchy. The inside is super, super soft, as you can see. You can have this with some butter. It would be delicious. Look at the cheese on the inside. Oh my goodness. Wow, this tastes amazing. All right, everyone, I really hope that you give this recipe a try. The best part of this bread is that it doesn't require time to rise. It's really simple and it is great to add to any lunch or dinner table, or even just to have some for breakfast with some butter. It is so perfect in so many ways, but you have to try it yourself to find out. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video, and share it with your friends as well. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see another bread recipe. I will do my best to bring it to you. So see you in my next video. Bye everyone.